Hello, family, whom I love so much. We've been talking about the character trait of honesty. And we talked about how we should never lie, and we've talked about how we should never steal. Both of those are forms of dishonesty. There's one more form we're going to talk about today. What do you think it might be? Any guesses? Never cheat. Cheating is a form of dishonesty. Cheating happens when we are dishonest or unfair to gain an advantage. Cheating often happens in sports, in tests, in schoolwork, even in our work, in games. Cheating is not a good way to live, and it is a form of dishonesty. We're going to play a game that's called What Are You Going to Do game. I'm going to read you different situations that might have happened. Then I want you to push the pause button and talk among yourselves what you think you would do in that situation, or what you think this person should do. Okay? We're going to start out with a story about Jason. Of course, these aren't true stories. They're just pretend stories that could happen. Jason's 5th grade class is playing a game of kickball at PE. A player from the other team throws the ball at Jason's friend as he is running the bases. The player from the other team barely hits Jason's friend with the ball, but Jason is the only one who sees that his friend was hit with the ball. If Jason cheats and says the ball did not hit the friend, Jason's team will win the game. What should he do? Okay, push the button, pause the button, and then come back for the next question, next story. So, let's talk about Jason's situation a minute. It was just PE, and it didn't really matter. What if this happened at a state championship game? Would the decision be any different? Think about that. Honesty is honesty no matter where you are and what situation you are in. Okay, here's another story. This is about Abby. Abby has a book report due for her English class. She has been so busy practicing basketball that she hasn't even read the book. So it's due the next day. She goes to the internet and she looks and she finds a book report on that book already written. She could copy it off and turn it in and get full credit for the book report. What should she do? Turn it off and talk about it and then come back. The rule at your house is not to eat sweets before dinner. Cody's friend gives him a bag of Smarties after school. He could secretly eat those Smarties and nobody would know about it. What should he do? Turn it off and talk about it and then come back. Rachel went with her family to play ultimate frisbee at the park Monday night and did not get back home until bedtime. As she is brushing her teeth before bed, she remembers she has a big test on the multiplication facts first thing in the morning. She does not know her nines tables very well, and she knows if she takes that test tomorrow, she's going to fail it. So she's trying to decide what to do. She's trying to decide, should she pretend to be sick in the morning and stay home? Should she make a little cheat chart? Or should she go ahead and fail the test? What should she do? Turn this off, pause it, and talk about it, and then come back. Okay, here's one about Sawyer. The Little League team the Little League team for Las Vegas in Las Vegas is for 8-year-old children and younger. Sawyer has played on that team for a few years now and has become the very best player on it. His team has been winning all of the championships in the Las Vegas area. Sawyer is the home run champion. So it's time to sign up for the next season. But Sawyer has had a birthday and he turned 9. Sawyer is sad about not playing on this team again because they're a winning team and he's such a good player. The coach of his old team, coach of that team that he's been playing on, comes to him and suggests that Sawyer cheats about his age and signs up as an 8-year-old again. The coach wants Sawyer on the team so they can keep winning the championship games. That's not a good thing for this adult to try to get this child to cheat, but that's what happened. So what should Sawyer do? Turn it off and come back again. Okay, this story is about Emma. She has a story writing assignment due in the morning. Her teacher has been teaching her about creative writing, and she has a story that's due in the morning. She became involved in watching a movie instead of finishing her homework assignment. Now it's time for her to have her paper done, and she's really worried about it. And then she remembers that Chloe had a written story that would be perfect for that assignment. She could copy Chloe's story and turn it in for her own. What should she do? Okay, last story. Uncle Adam backed a trailer full of firewood into his backyard and assigned Alice and Shay to unload it. Alice begins working rapidly, throwing one log after another onto the pile. Shay watches the clouds in the sky and plays with their new little kitty. After the trailer is completely empty, Uncle Adam comes out to examine the job. Shay is feeling really embarrassed that she did not do any work. Alice has gone in the house so Shay could claim that she did a large part of the work without anybody knowing it. What should Alice do? Turn it off and then come back. Okay, young people, when a person cheats, it's not fair to two people. It's not fair to the others that you cheated, those who worked really hard, did their assignment, practiced their game, took the practice for the test without cheating. It's not fair to them, and it's not fair to the person that's cheating. Say Rachel cheated on her multiplication tables, on the nine times tables, and didn't really learn them. The rest of her life, she would have a little hole in her brain where those 9 tables should have been, because she didn't pay the price and she cheated over those 9 times tables. So cheating always hurts other people and yourself when you cheat. So never cheating is an important way to be honest. Write down in your notebook that you will never ever cheat, and also write it on your house. Never cheat. Now I'm going to read a story that goes along with cheating and telling lies. And actually, a lot of time cheating is telling lies. They're kind of combined. They're a team. This book is called The Boy Who Cried Wolf. And it's a common book. It's a story from a long time ago, but it has a really good message. Long ago, when the world was still wild, there was a young boy. He earned his living taking care of sheep. Every day, as the sun rose, the boy led the sheep from the village. He took them to a big green meadow where the grass was sweet and thick. He didn't only take his own sheep, he went around the village and gathered up everybody else's sheep, and his responsibility was to take them to the village. Be sure to call for help if a wolf comes, his master told him. All the people in the village will run to help you." All day, as the sun shone bright, the boy played his flute and kept watch over the sheep. For nearby there was a deep, dark forest full of hungry wolves. Silently and swiftly the wolves crept among the trees. They watched the sheep with hungry eyes. For maybe you know that a wolf likes nothing better than a delicious dinner of tender lamb chops. They look pretty frightening. One very hot day, the boy grew tired watching the sheep in the bright sun. It was so quiet he could almost hear the grass grow. To stay awake, the boy pretended he saw wolves in the clouds. He imagined the wolves creeping like shadows into the grassy meadow. Then the boy had a bad idea. He jumped up and ran toward the village. "Help!" he cried. "A wolf is coming to eat the sheep." The boy's shouts rang through the village. "Help, wolf!" all the people cried. They ran to the meadow as fast as they could. But all they found when they arrived to the meadow, what did they find? The boy was laughing so hard he could hardly stand. The sheep were safe and sound, munching the sweet, thick grass. "But where is the wolf?" cried the people. "There's no wolf," laughed the boy. "It was just a joke. I wanted to see if you would come." All the people were very angry as they turned back toward the village. "Don't ever do that again," scolded the master. "I won't," promised the boy. But he kept on laughing and laughing. What do you think? Is he going to keep his promise? A few days later, the boy grew tired of playing his flute and watching the clouds. He could barely keep his eyes open. Then he remembered what fun he had watching all the people from the village to help chase away the wolf. The village people ran to help chase away the wolf. The boy jumped up and ran to the village. "Help, wolf!" he cried. Once again, all the people ran to help. But again, there was no wolf. The sheep were munching the fresh green grass, and once again the boy just laughed and laughed. Pretty naughty trick, what do you think? All the people mumbled and grumbled. "Don't expect us to come again," they told the boy. His master frowned. "How can I ever trust you again?" And we talked about that right at the beginning of our first lesson about honesty, that when we're not honest, we lose the trust of other people. But the boy was laughing so hard he couldn't hear a word that the master was saying. Then one evening, as the red sun set in the sky, the boy fell fast asleep. Shadows crept out of the deep, dark forest. What's going to happen? And a real wolf crept out with them, with the shadows. Suddenly, the wolf jumped from the shadows and attacked the sheep. Uh-oh. The boy awoke and ran to the village. "Help, wolf!" he shouted. People heard him, but they did not believe him. They did not trust him. "There is a wolf," they said. "Help, wolf!" The boy cried again and again. "How many times does that boy think he can fool us?" the people asked. The people were tired of working all day. Some were eating their supper. Others were rocking their babies. "You won't catch us running to help that liar," they said. Even the boy's master just yawned and soaked his tired feet. Help, wolf, the boy cried once more. All the poor people heard him, but this time no one believed him. This time no one ran to help, and many of the sheep were killed before the wolf slipped back into the forest, and the people never again trusted that boy. So maybe now you see why no one believes a liar, even when he tells the truth. Okay, so promise yourself that you will always be honest, that you will never cheat, you will never lie, you will never steal. And be sure you write it in your notebooks and you write it on your house. Always remember that I love you to the moon and back, and always remember how wonderful you are.